pass out a lot when I'm drinking.
You pass out a lot? Okay.
Yeah.
So, like, do you black out or?
Well, yeah, black out and pass out, kind of two different things. Oh, man. This is opening up a wormhole. But I've been drinking and if I've been drinking and, for example, this is a mystery, me and my friends. We went to in high school, we went to an OAR show.
Okay.
At the Aragon.
All right.
And all I remember was, like, walking in and walking out. I have no idea what happened in between.
Oh.
I could have been passed out in the corner. I could have been hanging out with
Nobody
people
filled
that
you
weren't
in?
my friends.
Nobody filled you
No,
in?
no one knew where I was.
Ah, you just kind of disappeared
I
and
just
then...
disappeared.
See, that's the thing. I think, like, the difference between guys and girls, like, girls, like, we always kind of check in on each other and make sure we're okay, even if we're that drunk. But guys, they're just like, I'll just be fine. I'll walk around.
Yeah, I'm sure someone was looking for me. I don't know.
Yeah.
And then so then, some other friends of mine, I was, like, texting people or calling people up because I walked out Aragon, and instead of, like, going across the street to the train station and take a left, I just started walking because I'm trash. I don't know what I'm doing. And and some friends of mine that were, like, almost out of the city, like, turned around and, like, came and got me. Oh. And I was just like, oh, thank you guys.
Man.
But I'll fall asleep on, like, people's couches, and it's like they have a party. It's like, oh, it's like fair staying the night.
Oh, no matter, like, you're always the first person to fall. Like, do you fall asleep while the party's still going on, or just like...
Yeah, that's happened before, too.
See, when I fall asleep at parties, it's like I wake up pretty... Like, I might fall asleep for 5 minutes or 15 minutes and then wake up.
I'll do that, too,
you know?
yeah.
But, yeah, I usually don't crash.
I've woken up, like, the next day, like, 7 a.m. being like, oh, there's a bunch of stuff on top of me.
Oh, wait, so you're in the coat room and they just piled a bunch of coats and stuff on you?
No, like, I'm on the chair or couch or something, and they just put a bunch of stuff on top of me.
Like, what kind of stuff?
Like, if I just, like, sit down, like, late night, I've been drinking, I haven't had any coffee, or sometimes I'll take, like, a caffeine pill to make sure I don't fall asleep. Like, I'll just be, like, out for maybe 20 minutes, maybe 5 minutes, maybe an hour.
But what do you mean by stuff on you, though? Like, what kind of stuff?
They
do you
were
mean, like,
stacking, like, anything. Umbrellas, sunglasses.
So they just made it a joke and just started putting stuff. Okay, like, that wasn't clear. I was like, what do you mean? Like, throw up? Like, what do you mean on you? Sometimes.
Depends what kind of night.
What is, like, have you ever had a thing where you're, like, where you slowly pieces of what happened the night before came together and you're like, oh, I did all these crazy things?
Yeah. That's definitely happened before.
Like, what kind of crazy stuff did you do?
Well, sometimes they're just like, oh, that girl was, like, all over me, but, like, I didn't do anything because I was wasted. Or, I was all over that girl and too drunk. Or just, like, you know, people will say stuff. Like, my friends would say stuff, and then I'd be like, oh, is that what happened?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Interesting.
So I try and
but
combat.
Nothing specific, like
I can't think of anything specific. I might think of
okay.
Something as this goes on.
I've definitely done stuff like I have. Oh gosh, when I was let's see. Oh, when it was icy outside, I've definitely like when they had the they used to have a ice skating rink by Wrigley before they did the construction.
Oh yeah.
I was definitely when I got really drunk, I would like jump over that and just try to ice skate, even though I didn't have ice skates on and stuff like that. And when I get really drunk, sometimes I'll steal random things.
Okay.
And like kind of get really I mean, like not like in a malicious way. It's just kind of like, oh, this thing looks like it should belong to me. It belongs to me, and that's
like a hand strengthener thing, or like something random.
No, yeah, or like a bottle of booze at a bar. No, no, not behind. I don't steal behind the bar. No,
are you sure?
Oh, I'm just kidding. Not really, but
so yeah.
No.
So I'll fall asleep late at night drinking, and I think the last picture of me that was maybe a couple recently, but one of them was at a Super Bowl party recently. It was actually a soup or bowl party, so it was like a soup making competition,
Oh,
during the Super Bowl.
Mm-hmm.
And this was like after the Super Bowl. I think we were watching Colbert after the Super Bowl, and like I'm in a little chair, and I'm just like doing this, like hold on.
Oh yeah, I mean, I that's the yeah.
For like 3 minutes, and my friend Moog was actually recording me.
Oh yeah, did
Yeah.
you like dub over it and put it on YouTube and make something goofy out of it?
Oh, that'd be fun.
That'd be funny, right? Like
make me headbang or something.
You know, yeah, that'd be cool.
Oh, I should go back and get that video off YouTube.
And you're like,
Facebook.
Yeah, see, that's the thing. You could take something embarrassing and then put it on YouTube and make it funny, right?
Mm-hmm. I think it was perfect just the way it was.
Yeah. But you don't have... I thought you might have had, like, insomnia or something like that.
Oh, I definitely have insomnia. I'm a night person. I do stuff at night.
Yeah, so, like, when do you usually go to bed? Or how...
When I try and get to bed, like, before 2 a.m.
Okay.
So, usually, like, 1:30 is a good bedtime for me. Especially if I'm getting up to work out the next morning at like 7 a.m.
So you only get like 5 hours of sleep.
Yeah, and I take some melatonin, so I feel like it feels like 7.
What does the melatonin do?
Melatonin gets you to your now this is what
REM?
I think it does. Yeah, it gets you to your REM faster.
So
it's like a solid, it's like a solid 5 hours of sleep.
Okay, that's interesting.
And but if you like wake up, you feel like super awake, but if you go back to sleep after that, then you're like super groggy.
Oh.
When you wake up.
See, I always wake up and fall back to sleep like a billion times, so I don't think that would work for me. But yeah, so insomnia. So what's the longest you ever gone without sleeping?
I want to say about 27, maybe. It's 27 hours, maybe.
Wow.
I had this was in college. I was in summer school, and I had my report for it was a speech class.
Okay.
Like, oral speaking. And so I had my report due the next day. I volunteered to go early to get extra credit. So I did this whole report, and then I had another thing I had to like go over to my friend's house to do in like health class or whatever. And so I do that, and then by 10 o'clock I'm like, dude, I gotta go home, dude. Like, I was up for 24 hours already, and then I think I went to bed about like 10:30 that night. Did
you start to see shit? Is that like something that happened? Like, you randomly like see things that weren't there? Did you hallucinate or anything like that?
Maybe colors.
Colors?
Like, you kind of see like kind of colors floating
Just
around.
colors floating around in the air?
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
No lasers though.
No, this was before lasers.
How'd you come up with the laser show?
I came up with the laser show because my brother had discovered it at a music festival.
Okay.
And my brother was already his name's Tom Ferry, lives in Denver, Colorado. He was already going around the festival selling things like toy lightsabers or things that people who are on drugs would buy. And
Denver
he was already doing
yeah.
he was already doing this. So then he started making T-shirts. Lasers T-shirts, like the one I'm wearing, but his first ones were just blank.
Can you show what you can do with it?
Yeah.
Well, sorry, podcasters.
Let me tell the story first.
All right. Okay. All right.
So, he started making T-shirts and selling them. And then I made him a website. And I did a bunch of photography and videography and stuff for him. And then I just had the epiphany. I had a couple people tell me, like, oh, you can do an improv form like that. And then my friend Mike Glazer emailed me and was like, hey, do you have anything outside the box to do for my artsy fartsy outside the box showcase of Second City. And I was like, yes I do. And I booked him a gig. I put together the screen. My mom sewed it for me. And then I had like auditions on St. Patrick's Day in 2011. 2 people showed up, and I was like, "You're on the team."
So it was a team.
Originally, yeah, I had Avery Lee and Molly Todd.
I know Avery, yeah.
Yeah, I had them do it until they both, within the same week in July, was like, "We're too busy."
That's the problem with like that's always the problem I found with like improv and sketch groups. It's like you'd be part of these great groups, but then other people would be so busy they kind of fall apart a little.
Yeah, they fall. Yeah, Molly was like overbooking herself, and Avery was just like, "Well, I just got made artistic director of Stir Friday Night," so I was like, "All right, that's cool. Congrats."
Yeah.
So I started doing it by myself, and
do you think it works better by yourself though?
It does to a point. Where I can do all this stuff by myself, but sometimes it's just good to have someone else there to add to things.
Yeah. So you take these crazy laser pens.
Yeah. You can turn the light off, maybe.
Oh, does it only work if the light's off?
Well, you can still see it.
I think you can still see it a little bit.
But like it works, it will stay there
if the lights are off. Oh, yeah. That's cool. That's cool. Give me just 1 second. I'll turn it off for just 1 second.
Okay.
And then you can see. Come on. And then just 1 second. So I'll give you like a couple seconds to draw something fun.
Shot through the heart.
Fun. Cool. So
Yeah.
that's how that works. That's cool.
Yeah.
Like and you're the only person that does that kind of stuff,
Yep.
right?
I'm the only one who does it on the stage in front of people. There's plenty of people who do this, just mess with their shirts in front of people, and I'm just like, hey,
it's
check
for
it
drugs.
out.
Have you ever do you ever have people come to your show like super stoned and stuff like that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Lately, since I've been actually getting into getting on Time Out or the Reader listed, like I've been getting some people, like I had a kid show yesterday, and so I show up, and the kids show is usually the first weekend of the month at Stage 773, part of the Inoffensive theater series.
So like good for anybody, like
yeah, for anybody, especially children. But there's these 2 guys there when I showed up at 1, and my show was at 2 usually. I showed up, and there was a guy, he had like kind of like dreads, just tall dude that dreads, and then I don't know if it was his dad or whatever hanging out, and yeah, they were there for my show, and they were there an hour early.
wow.
But the guy in dreads and stuff, I was like, oh, that dude's looks like a total pothead. I'm just assuming. I don't know.
But like, have you ever had anybody come to your show like in Molly or shrooms or anything crazy like that?
Oh no, not yet.
Not yet.
Anyways, I'm sure when I'm doing like selling out Chicago theater, I'm sure people will be doing that.
Have you ever done any of those things? Have you ever done hallucinogens or drugs?
Yeah.
Yeah. What have you done?
Mostly mushrooms.
Yeah.
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 I haven't done anything like really hard than that. I don't really want to.
Nah, yeah. Mushrooms are fun. I think mushrooms are more spiritual.
Like,
it's like like I've only done mushrooms once, and it was like a really good time. Like, very, very chill, very like personal, connecting with nature and all that.
The last time I did it, it was in the woods, and I did bring some laser stuff.
What'd you do?
Well, I put my screen over my tent, so I was drawing on my screen. And within like 30 seconds, I was just like, here's the lady of the forest. Here's all the trees. And then I was just like, this is way too intense.
Yeah.
Like, right away, I was getting to like spiritual, like, the lady of the forest wants you to leave. I'm like, oh, can't do this anymore.
You're like, hey, we're going into bad trip territory.
Yeah.
We need to stay positive and happy.
Yeah. So then I would.
I could see how that could be scary at night. Like,
Oh, it was best than that. I had the lasers, so like, but we'd be drawing on it from like over by the campfire, and you'd be drawing a straight line, but it just looks like melting. And then I predatored the woods a few times, where I just was like with the lasers, just like all
he's
across,
drawing on the ceiling, by the way,
like all across the woods. And then also with the campfire smoke, oh, that's so intense because it's like,
the smoke is like a smoke for like a laser show.
Yeah, the smoke's like smoke for a laser show. So it would, you can definitely see it like Quintana's fan, just like going through the.
Do you always have like big revelations or like epiphanies when you do mushrooms?
No, mostly just have a good time. In fact, like, my friends are having more fun watching me have fun. Because
you're like a little kid, right?
Yeah. I was just, like, doing little bits. Like, they have no idea what I'm talking about. There's just bits from me.
Yeah.
And I'll just someone would say something funny. I just laugh my ass off. Like, it was hilarious.
That's cool. That's cool.
At least to me it was.
Yeah. No, I mean, that's the funny thing is, like, when you're on shrooms, it's just like I don't know, like, I've only done it once, like, in, like, nature in a park with one of my close friends, and so we just were ridiculous the whole time. It was really fun. Oh, really?
It was just like a...
Yeah, it was in Humboldt Park.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, dang.
Yeah, it was so nice. It was in the summer.
Oh, that sounds awesome.
It was really, really fun. I'm sure some people probably walked by and heard us being loud as fuck, and that we're like, you guys are tweaking out, whatever.
You guys, man. You guys. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. I've never seen your show, like, on anything, but I could imagine how some people would think that was really cool. Like,
yeah, there are some hippie people who, like, showed up to my show, like, right away, they're like, hey, can we get a selfie with you? I'm like, yes, you can.
Yeah, that's cool.
And then I know some other people who, like, just showed up to, they just, like, saw me by chance at, like, some other showcase, and they were high, and they was like, wow, this is crazy. You want to be in our show, too? I'm like, yes, I do.
That's cool. Do you find that, like, do you think that because you have, like, insomnia or sleep problems, it makes you more creative?
I definitely come up with more of my creative ideas, like, at night. Like, that's when I get on a roll. Mm-hmm. Like, it's like, it'd be like 11 o'clock. I'm like, all right, well, now I'm going to clean my apartment.
Yeah, no.
I've been pussyfoot around it all evening, but now I'm going to clean it, and that's when I come up with more my, like, creative ideas on how to organize stuff.
Okay.
Well, then it's just like, I'll be cleaning, and then I'll be like, oh, well, now I'm going to do this project. I'm going to start this at midnight.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I think that's interesting. I definitely, I find, like, definitely creative juices at night, like, in terms of writing or coming up with ideas. Yeah. Do you think that your show would be different if it took place at, like, 2 a.m?
The second time we did it, it was at 2:30 in the morning, actually.
Oh, yeah? Was it?
Yeah, the first time we did it was at that showcase for Mike Glazer, which was at midnight anyway, so it was at, like, 12:30. And then right after that, we went to the Conservatory.
Yep.
And they had, like, an all-night thing going there, so our
like
time was at, like, 2 a.m.-ish.
Well, that's cool.
And I remember falling asleep there, too.
Chris just falls asleep everywhere, too.
It was late, man, and I was eating... who was it? Orlando and someone else had a thing where they were just, eating, 39-cent cheeseburgers from McDonald's during their show.
oh, gosh.
And that was their show. Like, they had chicken sandwiches and cheeseburgers.
I haven't had McDonald's in so long.
So I had a couple of those.
Oh.
Passed out.
Yeah, I was talking a couple weeks ago to someone who, like, he'd talk about, like, if he ate something unhealthy, you'd almost have, like, a food hangover the next day.
Oh, yeah.
Have you ever done anything like that?
Like, I would go out to lunch with my dad, and I'd eat. It's not the next day. It's literally, like, 20 minutes later.
Yeah.
I just like I'm groggy and I can't do anything. So like eat a big old double bacon burger from Five Guys or something. What's about right? I like load that thing with vegetables. Like I basically get every single vegetable that they offer.
But they're greasy vegetables.
Well, yeah, because I get them grilled too.
Yeah, but I mean, like I guess
they're
that's
so
better.
Good.
Oh, yeah, that's the only thing is like the things that taste so good are so unhealthy for us, and the things that taste healthy are bland. I've been trying to eat healthier, and it's like, Well,
I mean, like I would always, not always, like within the last like 10 years or so, I started eating like healthier. Like I liked eating vegetables for the taste of the vegetables.
Okay.
It's like cucumbers, red peppers,
asparagus, zucchini.
Well, actually, that's more like the last 6 years I became accustomed to asparagus. Like right now, in my fridge, I have some leftover grilled asparagus that, I put some truffle oil on it and some paprika and some salt and pepper, cool. sea salt and fresh ground pepper,
So you like to cook. I don't really like to cook. I just do it out of necessity. I usually just try to cook like once or twice a week and just cook a lot of my meals together so I can just like heat them up. And I've gotten good at doing chicken breasts, but I can't I don't know. I don't really have the time to like learn how to be I think I usually only cook like when I have to, like when like when I'm dating someone, like I'll usually like brush up on some recipes. I'll be like, oh, okay, or if I feel like I'm gonna cook for the person I'm dating, I'm like,
I've been dating this girl for a few months and I haven't been able to get over my apartment to cook for her yet. She's like, she just doesn't even want to. She keeps telling me she's too broke for a taxi and don't want to take the bus. I'm just like,
she does. Wait, she's too broke for a taxi, but too good to take the bus.
I don't know. She doesn't want to take the bus. I think she takes the bus to work and stuff.
Oh, okay. That's
but
interesting.
So I usually just like go pick her, go hang out at her place and pick her up to take her out usually. Gotcha.
Interesting.
Yeah. It's
so interesting with dating where it's like, oh, you have no problem that your girlfriend's like, or the girl you're seeing is like, oh, I'm too broke to do this.
I didn't say I didn't have a problem with it.
No, well, it's interesting because I think like girls, if they're dating a guy and he's like, oh, I'm too broke to do this, it's like a big turn. It's like, I don't know if it's the same thing for guys and girls. What do you think?
Yeah, I think it's different. It's definitely different. Where I think one point she like wasn't texting anyone back and being timely or anything. And I was like, what's your deal? She goes, I am broke and I don't have any money. I want to spend money I don't have. And I was like, all right, whoa, chill,
Yeah. Versus I think that guys, when they don't have money, they just don't date.
Yeah, or just look for like cheaper things to do.
Yeah.
Like right now, like I had gotten a couple, because when you're on the hookup, you get hooked up, and then like, all right, well let's go see Date Me, OK Cupid experiment. So I was like, all right, I got these free tickets, and then I end up spending like $50 while I'm there, anyways.
Mm-hmm.
Or next thing I got lined up is Macallan whiskey.
Oh, I was talking about this last night. I was thinking about going to that one of those, Macmillan or whatever.
Yeah.
The whiskey. I went to that last year and that was really cool.
Yeah, I went to that too. I brought a date.
Because you don't have to pay for anything.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I should go this year again. I should get a group of people to go.
Yeah. I'm going on.
Well, it won't matter. Yeah, on the Wednesday. Okay, I'll try to do that. But yeah, I love doing the tastings. When I first moved to the city, I was so on top of having how to be like super frugal with everything.
Yeah.
Like I used to never pay for haircuts. I used to always hair model.
Oh, I don't.
And
pay for haircuts.
Yeah. And then I used to. What else did I do? I used to usher for plays when I was in college.
Okay.
So I could see Goodman, Steppenwolf, Chicago Shakespeare Theater, all those plays.
That's awesome.
and have great seats. And so I've
Wait, you were ushering people.
So what I would do is I would usher people in. So all you had to do is wear like a button-up white shirt and like black slacks.
Yeah.
And it's always usually like older people that tend to volunteer for those things.
Yeah.
So like they were happy to have like a young person, you know. So I'd be like, oh great, you know,
A young whippersnapper like yourself.
yeah, a young bubbly, you know, I don't know, like young college girl, like trying to, because I was a theater major, I wanted to see plays, so I would pass out. All I would do is pass out the programs and see people. Once the show started, I could take any empty seat.
Oh,
so I could
nice.
get like a pretty sweet seat. I wouldn't have to do anything afterwards.
Oh, okay.
So it was pretty awesome. It was a pretty good deal. So then I used to get to see all these plays that were like $60. Some of them were like $150. Some of them were two plays. To get, you know, two plays that were like double, and it was really cool. So I used to do that for free. What else did I do? I used to be really good. Oh, I used to always go to those art gallery. I would be so on top of the art gallery openings. If I was going to go out with friends, I would go to art gallery openings, find out which ones were going on, and just go to them, and then drink all the wine, and then go out, and then I would have had to buy drinks.
Wow.
I was so on, like, there were so, I used to have all these, like, little tips on things to do for, like, on the cheap, and those are all the ones I can think of right now.
Oh, I think this art gallery thing sounds a good idea.
It is a good idea.
Good date.
Yeah. Or like
afterwards.
if you go to like the Pilsen Art Walk or like the First Fridays or whatever, or like going to things that are like based on donation. But that's like usually nowadays it's different. Like I'll actually give, you know, I'll actually pay for things now. But it's like when you're young, you don't know, you know, trying to save money. I mean, I'm still trying to save money.
Usually trying to save money is like, oh, let's hang out before we go out and drink before we go out. You know, like that's saving money.
Yeah. Well, the thing is now you got things like Uber that you could spend so much money in a year on Uber. There is a thing where you could calculate, like, people at the end of the year, you could like push a button on Facebook and it would look through your email and calculate how much money you spent on Uber in the last year.
Oh my god.
And it is terrifying.
I've been riding my bike. Well, actually no, I drive is the thing. I drive a lot. When I have a show, like I have this big case. It's like I'm not taking that on the bus.
Yeah.
Or like I'll have my backpack with my camera in it, and I'll have a bag that has a bunch of T-shirts for sale and stuff. It's too much. I just drive.
Yeah. You know? No, I get you.
But then,
Yeah. No. Oh, but yeah. Do you ever? Do you have any weird dreams? Do you ever have like any weird dreams or recurring dreams? Or
well, not so much recurring, but when you for one thing, when you have dreams, like if you're not smoking a lot, if you're not
smoking a lot of weed,
if you're not on mind altering chemicals a lot, and you actually have dreams.
Do you think that you don't have dreams because you smoke weed?
No. I mean, yeah. When you don't have a lot of dreams when you have mind altering chemicals.
Huh.
So like that's. So when I'm like not doing that, and then you know when you have like fever dreams.
When you wake up in a sweat?
When you have a fever, you have a fever, and so you have dreams. So like I usually like I'll put my space heater on, and then I'll go to bed. I'll be like super warm, so I'll have some crazy dreams. Like I remember one of them. It was like like medieval times. And it was very detailed at the time, but I can't remember them. It was very vivid where, it was like a bunch of knights and stuff. And
were they attacking you?
No, I was one of them. I was a knight as well. And, it was just kind of like Robin Hood, Prince of Thieves. It was Kevin Costner type thing, but like in the castle, well, where Sheriff Nineham's doing whatever, we're all just like hanging out, and I think there was some type of thing that happened where we were looking for somebody or something. Like
so yours are kind of like mine are kind of like that too, where you're like telling a story, where it's like a story arc almost. In your. I feel like that's interesting. Mine usually have a weird story arc too, and I feel like some people are like don't get that. Like for whatever reason, my mind just kind of thinks that way. It's like these are the paths, but. That's cool.
It's like, and they can, it turns into like a whole show where then there's like callbacks to like other dreams that were like earlier in the night. You're like,
oh
what?
wait, oh that's kind of cool,
on?
like a callback to a previous
like because
dream.
you can have like a dream and it's just like, you know, a free flow of consciousness and it goes from here to here to here and then it comes back to here and you're like, whoa, what's going on, man?
I have to show you, but I am really tired today. I stayed up late last night, so
I got yelled at during a math class in high school for yawning.
I used to have a teacher. My math teacher used to spray me in the face with water when I fell asleep. This is before they knew I had narcolepsy, but they used to spray me in the face with water.
Oh my gosh, you were like a cat.
Yeah, and I mean, like, the thing is that this is something that happened when I was in high school. So, these things wouldn't fly nowadays. They're way too weird, you know, like. Yeah, but I used to have a teacher that would just spray me in the face with water to like wake. Well, that was for anybody that fell asleep.
Oh yeah.
And I was like, well, if you have to keep a bottle of water around to spray people in the face, when maybe you should just teach more interestingly. You know, like don't be so boring when you're teaching.
Make a story about it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So like I yawned during the test, supposedly like, you know, disrupted the class, but.
That's our timer.
But
so we've got like 5 minutes to wrap.
Okay. So yeah, I disturbed the class, but then the teacher yelled at me during the test and gave me a detention during the test. Who disturbed the class more, me or the stupid teacher?
Yeah, that's always weird. Like the teaching, like how people, all the different rules and all the things. I think teachers. It is like a really hard job, though.
Yeah,
especially nowadays with everything that's going on.
I agree, but this was back in like the year 1999 or whatever bullshit.
Oh man, wow, that's crazy.
Yeah,
Long time ago.
And then in college, another summer school class, comparative religions, and it was just like one of those days I just was just like kind of falling asleep. I was like doing this.
Yeah.
And if the guy next to me didn't give me some of his coffee that was in his Nalgene, like black coffee, oh man, I would have woke up with, like this teacher, you know, he's had like 2 doctorates, like 3 master's degrees, all of them in different types of religions and everything. But he looked like a total hillbilly. He had horrible looking teeth. He'd smoke.
Oh, weird.
He'd smoke. He'd go out and break and smoke like 2 Newports, like Newport 100s. Like, you know, wait till one gets the half down and slap the other one. I would have had that in my face. I would have had him in my face.
Oh, probably bad breath and stuff.
So, thankfully that guy gave me some coffee. I was able to stay up.
Yeah, it's always weird. I used to do crossword puzzles in college to try to stay awake during class because I'd have to have my mind would have to still be working, so that way, because otherwise I would just get really bored and tired. But I would always tell teachers ahead of time, like, hey, I've got this thing, and you know, so the college was much more understandable about it, but it was still, like, sometimes I would still, like, wake up with, like, you could tell in my notes, like, where I drifted to sleep. I'd be like, and then it'd just be, like, a straight line.
Yeah, I've done that, too.
Well, we got to wrap up here. Let's see. I always ask people, we talked about your dreams that you have at night, but what are your other dreams for, like, the future and stuff in general?
Oh, I want to sell out the Chicago theater 2 nights in a row, run a laser show and tour.
Cool.
And have my own, eventually have my own improv theater, the Laser Comedy Theater, where the entire back wall will be laser reactive.
Oh.
And then people can be dressed in laser reactive, like, clothes, or they'll have, like, a big screen, like, they can just walk around with.
Have you ever seen blacklight shows?
Well, technically I do a black.
Well, I mean, like a different. Well, no, I meant like Okay, so when I was in Prague, what they have is blacklight theater. Mm-hmm. So it's like where they all wear black velvet suits, and then they wear different things that are bright colors that show up only under black lights.
Yeah.
Under like the purple, like the black lights you'd have in your room, like the purple lamp, So then they could really manipulate things to make it seem like, Like I went to one that was, I went to Alice in Wonderland, and then I went to Alice in Wonderland, and I went to the Yellow Submarine. And these were all silent shows, all done to music. But they would do this trippy stuff. Like for Alice in Wonderland, they would make a face of like the caterpillar, but there were like 6 people making it because they'd separate the bodies.
Oh my
and
gosh.
like 2 people's hands would actually be the lips because the clothing they would have. I don't know how it was done exactly, but with props and clothing, and it looked really cool. It makes me think a little bit about your stuff.
It's like a little puzzle, like a 3D puzzle they put together using different colors that they were wearing.
I mean, I remember a little bit of it, but like, I mean, it was basically designed so you'd like take absinthe and then go to the show. Like that's basically the thing. But
I want to go.
But if you had like a whole theater based on that, you could experiment with that kind of stuff too, because that's pretty cool and weird and fun.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, so, like, I mean, you can have this little screen in front of you that you carry around like a shield, you know, so you can draw stuff on it. So then you can have, like, the people holding those, and then, like, people dressed in black running around and drawing stuff.
Ah.
Yeah, like, they draw the background or they draw the,
Oh, whoa. So you have some
screen.
bigger ideas for this. This is pretty cool.
Yeah.
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 You got to start with a laser training player. You got to be like, all right, first program is like art class to make sure you can actually draw.
Yeah, I have a list of people right now who've expressed interest, and sometimes I've given them kind of like the runaround because it's like, this is kind of like my thing I'm doing, and I did the team thing, and because I did stand up for like 5 years or so before improv. Like I know how to book myself, I know how to. I know how to hustle, but I just feel bad. Like I'll give someone to run around a little bit that they want to do it.
Yeah.
But I was like, I should actually get like a team together.
Yeah.
But also, if I want, like right now, like I'm trying to make my living. I'm trying to make it like a job thing, like doing kid shows and everything. But you only get so much. I mean, you get like quite a bit of money, like you go to a library or a school, they'll give you like $300-400. But if I gotta split that with somebody, that's not gonna help me make a living.
Oh yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, you gotta think about that. But I like the idea of a whole theater. That's a cool concept. Laser comedy theater.
Yeah, something like that.
That'd be cool.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much for being on the podcast.
Oh, you're welcome. Thanks for having me.
End by saying good night.
Oh, good night, Sarah.
I'm Sarah Albritton, and thanks for listening to Sleeping with Sarah, where I slept with Chris Fair. You can catch Chris at the upcoming Chicago Improv Festival. I'm releasing a new podcast each week. Be sure to tune in to find out who I have in bed with me next. Thanks to Josh Bryant for the music. You can also follow me on Twitter at Sarah Albritton. Until next time, good night.